Hey everyone, it's Michael, GoosebumpsFan. I hope you're doing well today. I have finally read my first ever Fear Street book, and this is the first ever review for a Things Like Goosebumps video I've done on this channel for a Fear Street book, in case you're curious. I'm not sure if I'll be able to get to the two sequels to this book this year. I'm going to try. Of course, next week is Christmas. I'm getting real busy between work and trying to watch a bunch of the Christmas things I wanted to watch. I've been slammed to the wall with busyness. Anyway, this is Fear Street Super Chiller. I don't know if there's a number anywhere. Yeah, I don't see any numbers listed anywhere the way Goosebumps is, but this is R.L. Stine, Fear Street Super Chiller, Silent Night. And of course, I'm a big Christmas fan, so I was excited to read this one. There are 3 of these. I do have the other 3, or the other 2, here as well, and I hope they're good. Like I said, I'm not sure if I'll be able to get to all 3 this month, but I'm going to try to. It's been an interesting month. Silent Night. I was not sure what I was getting into this. Of course, this is not entirely different as a series compared to the point horror books that Stine has written in the past. Of course, I reviewed The Snowman not too long ago. I read Halloween Night and Halloween Night 2. I've done some things like Goosebumps books on some of those point horror books that he had written. But when it comes to Fear Street, I'm kind of new to this. I haven't seen much of these before in my local area. I've never really read many of them. I've always been curious. I've heard they're kind of like Goosebumps without the supernatural element. It's more of a murder mystery, crime thriller type of thing. More of a YA type of thing than a middle grade book the way Goosebumps is. And I'll tell you this, for the most part, I enjoyed this book. I did not love it, I will say that. I was talking to Monster Blood, aka Austin, who did I guess it was group reviews with me and Goosebumps Completionist not too long ago. And I had seen where he had read this recently, and he actually loved it apparently, or liked it a lot. He really didn't mind the issues that I had with it. There's quite a few things I have problems with, and I do want to bring those things up. So this is going to be kind of more of a breakdown with no spoilers, you know? More of a breakdown than I usually do, just because this is different from Goosebumps. This is different from the middle grade books and stuff I typically review for this particular series of Things Like Goosebumps. This book starts off with a prologue taking place about 2 weeks into our story, and then we kind of, after that prologue, we go backward. The prologue is pretty wild. There's a girl named Riva who is kind of snarky and awful. She is mostly our main character, I would say. You kind of have 2, but she's really our main character, I would say. And somebody put a needle in her lipstick when she's putting it on. She works at her dad's not Christmas store, but she works at her dad's store. It's Christmas time, and she's putting her lipstick on. She stabs herself with a needle inside of that lipstick stick, and that's pretty horrific. I did not expect that. I expected a razor blade, but then I was realizing how stupid I am that you can't put a razor blade inside of a lipstick stick. Anyway, we cut to about 2 weeks beforehand, before that lipstick event, and we realize more and more how awful of a person Riva is. Riva is supposed to be a character that you hate, so I will give Stine that. You absolutely love this character because of that. In the sense of, well, I guess I phrased that wrong. You love it because it's well written. How awful Riva is, right? And she's just a brat. She will specifically ruin relationships with people. She starts off the book breaking up with her current boyfriend just because. Not because there's anybody else in the picture, not because she really wants anybody else, just because she's bored and she wants to move along. And Riva being our main character is almost... I don't even have words for it. I physically hate this girl. She's just awful. She's just genuinely an awful person, and I can't stand reading about her. I don't mind books that have that situation. You have like the point horror book, The Snowman, I referred to, that I recently reviewed for you all, for the Things Like Goosebumps page, or series. And I said there, Heather, the main character in that book, is a complete idiot. She's an idiot. Everything she does, she's a moron. This is a situation where Riva's just a scumbag. I genuinely can't stand this chick. Think of the worst, most awful, self-focused person, conceited person on the entire, in your entire high school. That's what Riva is like. It's like that one chick that just is mean. Just a mean chick. Anyway, she's ruining relationships left and right. Her dad, of course, is getting closer to Christmas time, and he, needs some people to come in and work different positions at his mall, or his store, or whatever. And he basically asks her to ask some of her friends, go find some people to come in here and take up these positions, and she finds quite a few. She has a cousin named Pam, who is kind of the other main character, if you will. And Pam is just kind of okay. I don't really have any issues with Pam. She's kind of likable, but kind of dull. A lot of this book is middle of the road for me. A lot of it's just bland, I want to say. I like Stein's writing style. I think he really can amp up the tension, the plot twists. I think he can execute all that pretty well. And there's a lot of twists in this book, by the way. It keeps you guessing, I will say that too. You will constantly be guessing about what's going to happen through here. One thing I do have a big complaint with is very much like the snowman and the main character Heather from that book being an idiot. And this book, and I'm wondering how common this is with Fear Street books, because I don't know anything about the series except for this book that I just read and the little things I've heard here and there about other books. The police are idiots in this book. Just complete morons. I mean, there are things that I would have thought to have looked at in these investigations about different murders that happen here. Yes, there is murder. Like, straight up, characters die. They don't get scratched or injured or something like Goosebumps. They die. They physically die. And that affects certain parts of the story. And the police, for whatever reason, the most obvious things you'd go looking for in an investigation, they don't do that in this book. And I don't know if that's Stein underwriting the police because it's a mystery thriller thing, or if it's supposed to be one of those situations like, oh, it'll shorten the story if you had some common sense in here. I understand that, but I think even a teenager would be like, why would the police do this over that? Why would they choose to do this and not investigate this, or look at this angle over this angle, or pair up these stories that make no sense? It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Anyway, getting back to Pam. Pam is friends with a couple of guys, and again, she's Riva, the main character's cousin, and Pam is thinking the reason they had kind of a falling out when they were younger over the recent years is because Riva's mother had passed away and Pam's didn't. So she assumes maybe Riva's just jealous that she has a mom in her life. Of course, Pam is also in a relationship that's going pretty well. And one of Pam's friends, I believe his name is Mickey, he decides that he wants to rob the store because Riva's dad recently fired him from that particular store that they all own and work at and whatever. So Pam kind of gets caught up in this idea of possibly robbing this place. Not with, like, trying to hurt anyone or anything like that, just trying to get in there, steal some, maybe, like, electronics, like VCRs and stuff. Yes, it is the 1990s. There are VCRs in this book. I love it. I love my VCR. I have a lot of VHS tapes. And this coming out before Goosebumps is even more wild. I read the About the Author section of the back of the book, and there's nothing listed about Goosebumps anywhere. It was so weird picking up an R.L. Stine book and not seeing that anywhere. But overall, I mean, a lot of this book is plotless. A lot of it, and I don't want to say plotless in the sense of like, it's a mystery book. It's a mystery book with a little bit of a heist in there, and I kind of like that. I kind of dig that. I think it could have been done better, and I think the cops should have been written with some kind of intellect of some sort. But the twists are good, I'll tell you that. I think the solution at the end of the book, the revelations of who was involved with what, are just not really that great, I'll be honest with you. I'm very underwhelmed. If you can't tell, Silent Night really underwhelmed me. And again, I hope that all the Fear Street books aren't going to be like this. I've heard there's some great ones out there. I have not read them yet. So I'm hoping that I'll find some good ones. Maybe you guys can recommend some for me. Of course, I kind of read seasonal. If it's Christmas time, I read the Christmas ones. If it's Halloween, I read the Halloween ones. If it's springtime, I'll read the whatever ones. If it's summertime, I read the beach ones, you know? I just try to focus on the different seasons of the stuff. Anyway, I really don't have much more to say about Silent Night. It's mostly fine in execution. It's got some cool stuff to it. I like the store setting. We don't really have any, like, R.L. Stine Goosebumps books or anything that are focused on that kind of setting. But Riva's awful. I mean, I'll say that again. She's awful, and she ruins most of this book because I can't root for her. And not that you're supposed to. A lot of the book is wondering how many people are doing these horrific things around her and to the store and to her dad and friends and whatever. Is somebody doing that because of how Riva treats people, you know? And that's interesting. That's an interesting discussion to be had, but I don't think it really fills itself out enough for me. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. It's a very hit or miss book with me. I'm not very excited about it. I'm not really super happy with it. It's just, it is what it is. It's fine. Fine. That's it. That's all I have to say about this one. If I had to rate Silent Night, Fear Street Super Chiller Silent Night. By the way, are there different series? Is there Fear Street and then Fear Street Super Chiller and then another one? I know there's Ghost of Fear Street, which is more of a Goosebumps Y or middle grade type of thing. I've read a couple of those. For regular Fear Street, this is the first time I've ever read a book from them. It's about 200 pages, by the way, about 215, something like that. Very short read, very quick read. It is what it is. I'm not in love with it by any means. I would be surprised if anybody said they were. Anyway, Silent Night, what would you guys say about it? Do you love this book? Do you hate this book? It is what it is. I think it's fine. If I had to rate it on a 5-star basis, I would probably give it about a 3 out of 5 stars. It's intriguing, it's interesting, but it really falls flat for me, you know? And again, I don't know if it's because... And I like murder mysteries. I like thrillers. I like stuff like that. I'm a horror fan. I'm a thriller fan. I like stuff like that when it comes to movies and books and whatnot. I think I prefer my monsters and stuff from Goosebumps, you know? Just because it gives you something to look forward to in that story if those things are there, because sometimes they're not. But in this situation, I knew I was getting kind of a thriller murder mystery type of thing. But man, was it underwhelming. I don't know. This is kind of what makes me get a little put off about reading Silent Night 2 and 3 yet. I probably will read at least Silent Night 2. Maybe start off January reading 3. I don't know. I'm not excited about those. And I don't know if Reva and Pam are involved in those stories. I kind of hope they're not. I don't know. Anyway, what are your thoughts? Put them down below, guys. I would love to hear what you have to say about Silent Night. Do you love Fear Street more than Goosebumps? I don't whatsoever right now. Whether it be from the 2 Ghost of Fear Street books I've read or because of this, I'm just not thrilled. But I do have quite a few of them. Not a ton, but quite a few where it'll be worth reading some of these at certain points. And I hope they're good. I genuinely want to enjoy these more. By the way, these are kind of set in a place called Shadyside. I think there's a street somewhere in here called Fear Street, but it's barely mentioned. I kind of expected it to be more like, like the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies. New York City in those movies are kind of treated as a character. You know, it's not just a setting. It's like an actual character, unlike in the Amazing Spider-Man flicks, right? This is kind of the opposite situation, more like the Amazing Spider-Man. The Shadyside Fear Street thing is just kind of a background place. It doesn't really matter. I kind of expected it to be more of a character, I guess. More of a lively setting than just background noise. I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but it wasn't as important as I thought it would be. I know all these stories from this series are supposed to take place in generally the same place, but I'm not impressed. I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not impressed. I think I would have liked this more if I was a younger reader, like if I was 10, 11, which that's a little bit underneath what the demographic is for these books, but I think I would have liked this more if I was at that age, because I was already watching Michael Myers and Freddy brutalize people. Anyway, what are your thoughts? Put them down below. Thank you for watching. Merry Christmas, guys. Let me know all your thoughts about the Silent Night book, maybe the 2nd and 3rd as well, in the comment section down below. Please don't spoil anything. I will try to get around to those at some point, whether it be this year or next year or something. Anyway, thank you for watching. God bless you. Merry Christmas once again, and goodbye.